be disturbing the peace. Working, we serving the streets. About to go and going beast. Bang, bang.
Good evening, and happy Thursday. Listen, y'all, tonight, I don't know what happened, but for some reason, I did not get connected to Facebook, but the enemy is a lie. So if you see my eyes going up and down, it's because I'm looking at two different screens at one time, and that's A-okay, because listen, it's going to go forth. The devil's a liar. We stomping on the devil head on tonight. All right. Welcome to my podcast. I want to say thank you. Thank you so much for all your support. I want to let you guys know that I appreciate you all. You can't hear me? Oh no. Hold on, y'all. Can you hear me now on Facebook? Hold on. I think I know what it. All right, I think that should be good now. I think my daughter's AirPods was hooked up to my Bluetooth. Can you guys hear me on Facebook? Give me some hearts. Give me some I can hear you. Perfect. All right. Something happened where I did not get connected on Facebook, but that is okay. So I'm using two different screens tonight. But the devil was a liar. That was a liar. We still gonna go forth, y'all. All right. Listen, I'm excited because first of all, today is my daughter's birthday. Today is my daughter's birthday, and although a star rested today, a star was born. I always say that Biggie, rest in peace. But my baby was born on your on this day. So listen, I'm grateful that she was able to see 11 years, y'all. I have an 11-year-old. Like that is amazing. Sis is on her way to college. Sis is like getting ready to pack her bags and like going and live her life. But let's get into it, y'all. Today's topic is which side of the tracks do you lie? Which side of the tracks do you fall on? What side of the tracks do you choose? Okay. And it's funny because I was watching this TV show and it's called The Other Side of the Tracks. And this is where I had gotten the title for tonight's show. And what's really crazy is that, I know Luke was supposed to join us, but he had an emergency. So he will be joining us, but just not tonight. He will be coming on not next week, but the following week. So I'm excited about that because he is an amazing educator. I've known him for many years, and I am super excited to just share this space with him. He hit me up and was like, sis, I got to get on. And I'm like, I need you on. And it was just a good experience just to catch up with him and to, talk about the education field, talk about life in general. And I am super excited to have him on here, y'all. So he is, again, an amazing educator where, I learned a lot from him. I learned a lot just from his personality alone, like how someone who is just so vibrant, someone who's always so positive, someone who's always, showing love. And that's what it's about. It's about showing love, guys. But let's get back into the topic. Tonight's topic is what side of the track do you lie? What side of the track do you fall on? What side of the tracks do you choose? And like I was saying, I had watched this show and it was called The Other Side of the Tracks. And I know many of you may have seen this show, but as I'm watching this show, I had gotten such an insight on it. And it was an amazing but sad feeling because some of the things that happen on this show, females go through every single day. And it's Women's Month. Give it up to all the women on here. You are doing great. You are doing amazing. You are awesome. Listen, I celebrate you every single day. And in this show, the young girl, she went through so much, so much. And when you go through the first season all the way to the season now, she go through a stream of different different circumstances in her life. And one thing that I liked about this young lady is that she never gave up. She never gave up. And it got to the point where even the people who surrounded her wanted her to show these emotions, wanted her to go through the trauma. Not saying she wasn't going through the trauma, but to say that she wasn't going through the trauma the way that they expected her to go through this trauma. And towards the end, it shows where the tracks lie. It showed where the tracks really came to play. And, I begin to think about life. I begin to think about how we go through life and how we deal with circumstances and how we, you know, go through so much. And some of us is able to walk around like nothing has ever happened. But then some of us are not able to do that. And when I start to dive deep into this, I start to think to myself, why is that? Why is it that some of us is able to go on in life with a strong head on our shoulders, but then some of us is unable to handle some things that other people are able to, right? And that's where faith come in. That's where faith come in. And as I'm sitting here and I had begun to think of this thing, the song came on. I Still Have You by Smokey Norfolk. And I know a lot of us know Smokey. I love Smokey personally. But listen to the lyrics of this song. And just the beginning of the song, he began to say, I'm at my best when I'm at my worst. I pass the test even when I don't come in first. And I thought about this and I'm like, okay, we go through things in our life. We go through all of these things. And sometimes at our worst, we feel like we have been defeated. Sometimes at our worst, we feel like we don't want to go on. And this is where the suicide thoughts come in. And this is where depression come in at. And this is where stress come in at, right? We're fighting a never-ending battle. And when you're fighting a never-ending battle, you begin to feel internally, what is the point to keep? Why are we keep fighting, right? And that goes even back to where I was talking about when I say you got to find your why, because every one of us, we get up to fight for a reason. Whether it's our children, whether it's a family member, whether it's for us, whether it's what we've been through, as we know, we have more yesterdays than we have tomorrow. So what we do today is very important. What we do today, dictate what happens tomorrow. So I began to think about this, and he said, I passed the test even when I don't come in first. A lot of the times when we going through these obstacles, we tend to become competitive where we feel like we gotta come first all the time. Where we gotta get that trophy. And sometimes God is like, but I don't want you to come first. Sometimes last comes first. So just because somebody is going through this life and they begin to receive things before you doesn't mean that your blessing is not coming. And sometimes your blessing did not come yet is because God is preparing it to be exactly how you asked for it. And this goes into the space where, the word let us know that when we pray, we need to be specific in our prayers. So that way he will know how to bless us. That way that God will know exactly what we desire, although he already knows. But the power comes when you open your mouth. The power comes when you speak the things into existence. Right? And when I read that line, I passed the test even when I don't come in first. And I was just like, wow, that's amazing. Because even in my own personal life, I can remember where at a point in my time, I saw my sister getting everything that I was praying for. And in those instances, I was praying for her. And I'm just like, God, how am I praying for her and myself? But she's getting everything that I prayed for her for, but I'm not receiving anything. I remember my sister is a fireball. Like and I love her personality because she's the type of person where she wants something, she's gonna go get it. She's not gonna wait for the next person to help her. She's not gonna wait for a yes. She's just gonna get up and she's gonna go for it. And I can remember when she packed her bags out of faith and she went and packed her bags and moved to another state. And I'm just like, God, okay, just protect her. Although I wouldn't have done it that way, I would have had a plan. But sometimes God is like, your plan is not my plan. Your plan doesn't even amount to my plan. Your plan don't even oversee my plan. I just need you to go whenever I say go. I need you to move when I say move. I need you to walk when I say walk, and I need you to follow the direction that I'm giving you. And so when she got her bags and she packed them, and she just went with a bag, and within a couple of months, she had everything she desired. And I remember thinking to myself, yo, like, here I am doing everything and trying to do this and trying to do that and doing it the right way, and yet I'm still feel like I'm stagnated. Which side of the tracks do you pick? And then the words go on and says, and sometimes I win when the score says I lose. We got to understand that even in the times that we feel like we lost, we won. And I'm going to give you a prime example. Sometimes at our jobs, we feel like all the work that we put in, we're not getting the acknowledgement that we deserve from up above. And when I say up above, I mean admin. I mean the people who supervise us. I mean the people who pay our checks. Sometimes the work that we put in, it doesn't match what we are receiving. Like, I'm in the education field. Every day I get up, sometimes I may feel like the work that I'm putting in, I'm not getting anything in return. But even that, it goes from the mentality that you have. Because although I might think that I'm not getting anything in return, the parents, on the other hand, is showing me different. Because when I speak to them, they're thinking me. When I'm speaking to them, they see a difference in their children. When I'm speaking to them, they're like, I was almost lost my mind, but then something switched. I see a difference in my children. I see a difference in my child. The way they walk, the way they talk, the way they do things, the way they move. So when I read that, and sometimes I win when the score says I lose. This is why it's so important not to compare yourself to others, even if they're in the same line of work as you, because what God had installed in you might not be the same what He installed in the next person, and what He installed in the next person is for that person. And what He has for you was designed, and He took His time to create it for you for a reason and for a purpose. If you agree with what I'm saying, please write agree. And then it says, because even in my weakness, I still have you. The word let us know that in the times that we are weakened, He is our strength. And if you try to strengthen yourself in your fleshly desires, then it would never work, because some battles is not a fleshly battle. Some battles are spiritual. And if you don't differentiate between the two, you're going to find yourself on the wrong side of the tracks. You're going to find yourself constantly trying to run to get on that train, when on the other side, He's like, I'm here. Let me lead the way. Because if you ask, then you would have already been on that train. If you would have asked, you would have already been on that train. And that reminds me of James 1 and 6, when it states, but when you ask, you must believe and not doubt. Because the one you doubt is like a wave in the sea, blown and tossed by the wind. The word let us know specifically to be specific in our prayers. And it also let us know that if we have faith of the size of a mustard seed, then all that we desire shall be given. But the problem is we ask for things, and we ask for it, but internally we don't really believe that we are able to obtain it. We're able to receive it. Thank you so much. And it bothers me because we were never created to be in this world to suffer. That wasn't the plan. That wasn't the plan. The problem is we get so caught up of wanting to take control over everything that we lose control and don't know how to regain it. And don't know how to regain it. And when that happens, like who do we turn to? When that happens, who do we talk to? Who do we really talk to? So I asked the question, what side of the tracks are you on? What side of the tracks do you find yourself? And it's okay if you find yourself on the wrong tracks from time to time, because at the end of the day, we all fall short. We all fall short. That remind me of Aaliyah. When you fall, you have to get back up and try again. Because if you allow your circumstances to keep you down, you're just giving the enemy what he wants. But there's so much installed in you that you don't even know yet, that you have not even seen yet or felt yet, and you gave up. And when you give up, then you stop. You stop the plans that God had already installed for you. This is why you cannot rely on your own strength. And then it states in the song, I still have joy when I'm feeling pain. I'm telling you, when I read this, I was just like, yo, this is so dope. I still have my joy even when I'm feeling pain. And this reminds me of when we go through things like in life, and we might lose a loved one, or we might lose a job, or we might lose a friend. And that pain that you feel, you have all rights to feel that pain because you went through something. But you also got to remember that you still have to keep that joy. Because joy always comes in the morning. You got to get up every day and understand that you have a purpose in life. Understand that there's value to what you're doing every single day, even when nobody see it. And sometimes you're going to find yourself in a corner where there's nobody by your side. And that's not to say that no one cares. That's not to say that no one is thinking about you. But you also have to remember that everybody is going through something. Everybody is going through something. And just because you don't see it doesn't mean is that they're not. Just because they don't display it doesn't mean that they're not. Not everybody is open to express that they're going through something. Some people are very, very, very private. And they don't trust everybody. So what side of the tracks do you lie? What side of the tracks do you lie? And then it goes on and saying, I'm moving on when my life has clearly fallen down again. When you find yourself in those situations, when you find yourself on the bottom, do you stay there or do you pick yourself up and you keep on moving? Do you stay there and cry, or do you cry and you wipe your tears and you get up? Because the truth of the matter is you're stronger than what you think. Truth of the matter is you're stronger than what the eyes can see and what the ears can hear. This is why it's so important to have that self-care time, to have that moment just for you, because at the end of the day, you are your biggest supporter. When no one else believes in you, you got to believe in yourself. When no one else is there to take care of you, you have to take care of yourself. When no one is calling you in those midnight hours when you're sitting there crying and don't know what to do, you got to pick yourself up. We got to get in the habit of stop relying on everybody else. And it's okay if you go missing for just a little while. It's okay to take that time for yourself to empty your cup to be refilled again. Don't let nobody tell you that taking time for yourself is a whatever the word I'm looking for, is a punishment. It's not a punishment. It's not a punishment. Sometimes it's needed. Sometimes I win when the score says you lose. What would you do if someone told you that you ain't nothing? You ain't nothing. What happens then when they tell you that, oh, you ain't never going to succeed? What happens then when they tell you that you are never going to amount to nothing? Because I've personally had those same words spoken to me, that I was always going to be a project chick, that I was always going to be on the bottom, that I'm always going to be stagnated. I remember those words spoken directly to me. And in the moment, the heat of the moment, I wanted to take everything and break it. But those same people who looked you in your face and said those words are going to be the same people who's going to have to bow down to you. Did you know that? The same people who turned their back on you is the same people who's going to have to come to apologize. People are going to lie on you from left to right. They lied on Jesus. Don't think that you're going to be any different. People are going to say what they want to say about you because they can. It's their mouths. But you better be careful what you put your mouth on and who you put your mouth on. Because the same people who you put your mouth on is going to come back to you tenfold. Trust me when I tell you. Trust me when I tell you. And then it says, you are the one that puts my light in the sun. I spoke about being a light just last week. I'm telling you, God is amazing on how he put things together. I don't know if you believe me, but let me tell you, if you just follow the instructions, you are the one who drapes the stars. Drapes the stars on the sky when the sun is down. What side of the tracks do you lie? Because let me tell you, if you find yourself on the wrong side of the tracks, you're going to put yourself in some situations you can't get out of. You're going to place yourself in situations you cannot get yourself out of because you're going to be in way too deep. Don't lose yourself in the process. The process is not meant to break you. The process is meant to prepare you. This is preparation season. There's no way that you are able to go higher without preparing for your next. And sometimes we have to learn to be patient. We have to learn to be patient because it's in your patience that God is preparing you and molding you and teaching you. It's in your preparation season that you gather all the wisdom so that when you do get on top, you know how to deal with people. You know how to deal with certain situations. You know how not to break in the midst of the storm. You know how to keep walking when that mountain gets too high. You know how to keep running even though that the road seems like it's never ending. But that choice is yours. You have two sides. What side are you going to choose? Because the truth of the matter, can't nobody choose it but you. You can have people who will sit here and prepare you. You can have people who will sit here and give you the instructions. You can have people who will sit here and lay it flat out for you. But it's not until you make that move and that first step that things begin to happen and the atmosphere begin to shift. We got to understand that we're the light no matter where we go. Walk in that authority and understand your assignment. Walk in that authority and understand who you are. Don't let nobody tell you no different. Again, we wasn't a punk in the street. You can't be a punk now. Because running a business is not easy. You're going to have so many failures. But you ain't no way you're going to succeed if you don't fail. We got to have discipline. It's in the discipline and the consistency that you then begin to see a shift. Because can't nobody take you serious if you don't take you serious. You got to show up even when no one else does. And when you show up when no one else does, you still bring everything that you have inside of you 100%. Like if it was 1,000 people. Write those books as many times as you need to. Publish it. I don't care if it's 10, 15, 20 books. You publish it. Because all it needs is that one person to see it. That's going to change the whole atmosphere. What side of the tracks are you walking along? Because you have to decide. You have to make that choice. You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in your work. Even when everybody, it feels like everybody is against you. Even in your workplace, you still show up. I just spent the whole day with parent teacher conferences, y'all. I'm telling you, I'm tired. On top of that, I had a birthday party at my daughter's school. Came home, ate, fell asleep because I was so drained. Woke up, still had to make phone calls. But I told myself that I'm going to be consistent in this season. So I had to push myself and pray my way through on tonight. I kid you not. Because I said I'm going to show up. And I'm going to keep showing up no matter who shows up, as long as I show up. And this season of preparation, I encourage you to keep pushing. I encourage you to keep standing. I encourage you to not be knocked down and you not get back up. Saving someone drowning is the worst thing that anyone can do. It takes courage. Because if that person does not know not to fight while someone else is helping, you're going to bring that other person down. Yo, that was amazing. I don't know if you caught that. But listen, in this season, there are going to be people that God is going to bring to you to help you along the way. But are you going to turn them away? Are you going to go to the left side of the tracks or are you going to go to the right side of the tracks? Sometimes we are our own failure and we don't even know it. Sometimes we are our own failure and we don't even know it. And when you become your own failure, what do you do in that moment? When you are the cause of your situation to stay the way it is, what do you do in that moment? What do you choose? It's time that God, listen, it is time that we begin to pray and we begin to actually seek. Seek and you shall find. It's time that we begin to take our life back and take it serious. I'm not playing with my life no more. I'm not playing with my success no more. I'm going after everything I desire. This is my yes year. Everything that I desire is going to be a yes. I'm going for it. Yes. Listen, y'all, next week I'm going to come out with another, not a podcast, but on my YouTube channel, you're going to see some new videos. I'm excited about this. I am excited. I'm excited. I am excited. I am excited. So please look out for that flyer. I'm being a beast. I'm a beast this season, y'all. I'm a beast. I'm a beast. I'm a beast. So I thank you for watching. I pray that this helps someone. I pray that you all I pray that you all I see my bishop is on, my pastor is on. I thank you all for watching. I pray that in this season you be encouraged. I pray that you find your strength, that you find your why. I pray that God oversees every obstacle that's happening in your life. And I declare that the enemy hands to be released from you right now. I declare that everything that you work hard for, that it is yea and amen. If you haven't heard that song, it is yea and amen. God spoke it. And what he spoke over your life, can no man take away. Go after everything you desire. I declare that everything you desire, it is yea and amen. In Jesus' name. Don't let nobody stop you from reaching your highest potential. Don't let nobody stop you from receiving everything that God has already predestined for your life. Because it's yours. He's waiting for you to grab it. It's yours. You were chosen. He picked you for a reason. He picked you to go through what you're going through because he knew that you were strong enough to go through it. And he knew that he was able to entrust in you to get somebody else out of what you're going through right now. Everything that we go through is not for us. It's for the next person who's going to come across our path. Don't find it odd when you start walking and you just start sitting and somebody come next to you and just start speaking to you and they're going through the same thing you just came out of. This is the preparation season. Do not take it for granted. But in this season, incline your ears to hear every instruction. Incline your ears to hear his voice. And don't confuse it with the enemy. You got to remember that everything that God say you are, the enemy is going to come and say you not. And everything that God say you not, the enemy is going to come and try to say you are. You're not depressed. You're not stressed. You're not a failure. You are not. But you are an overcomer. You are the head and not the tail. You are successful. You are loved. You are not alone. You're not abandoned. You have people who love you. Always remember that. The enemy wants us to get in our minds that we're alone. We're not alone. No one is alone. No one. But sometimes it might feel that way. Sometimes it may even feel like nobody understands us. I'm a witness to that. I feel like sometimes when I speak, sometimes I just talk and I'm trying to tell what I'm feeling, but the words just don't come out right, and then it just come out crazy, and then I'll be like, okay, they don't understand what I'm saying, and then now I feel like I got to defend myself. Now I feel like I have to explain myself. You don't have to explain yourself to nobody. You don't have to explain yourself to nobody. Give it to God and leave it there and let him work out your situation. For the word let us know that the battle is not ours. And if the battle is not yours, then why are you fighting a battle that you wasn't meant to fight in the first place? Sometimes God needs to get our attention. Sometimes he's trying to get our attention in specific ways. And the only way he can get our attention is to place us in situations where we're alone. But that doesn't mean that we're alone, if that makes sense. Go after everything you desire. Do not let the enemy tell you that you're not good enough. You are good enough. Because if you wasn't good enough, then God would never gave you the plan in the first place. If you wasn't good enough, he would never gave you the vision. But because you were good enough, he gave you the vision. He's just waiting for you to take that first step so that he can then give you the tools, put the right people in front of you, Don't find it odd. Don't. This is your season. This is your season. Go for it. So I pray right now that you have a blessed Thursday night. And I pray that you all get on the right side of the tracks. I pray that you all choose the right side of the tracks because the choice is yours, and life is too short. Like, we don't know when is our last day. And if you feel like you're one of those who support others more than they support you, don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Don't worry about that. God sees what you're doing. God sees what you're doing. And you keep on being a person. You do not let nobody change you from who you are. I kid you not, I vow that to myself. I'm going to be me and me only. And if no one likes it, then they're not meant to be in my life. This is me. I am I tell myself I have ADHD. I can't sit still. My mind is constantly going. Visions are constantly coming. I'm supposed to be painting this day, supposed to be writing this day, supposed to be dancing this day, supposed to be. It's so much, and I'm like, God, I need you to shimmer me down because I got to focus on something. But you giving me all of these things, and I don't even have enough time in the day to even to complete it. Multi-talented is not a bad thing, and sometimes all your gifts ties into one. We just have to ask and seek the Lord and on the instructions how to control it all. Live your life, but live it the right way. I said this like 5 times already, but I'm really ending. Okay, I'm going. I'm going, y'all. I'm going. I could talk. I could talk. There's so many things in my mind that I want to get out. Like, it's so much. It's so much that I wish I can say, but it's not enough time to say it. It's not enough time in the day. It's not enough time in the day. But I believe in my heart that we were not meant to be stagnated. I believe in my heart that if we all come together and support one another, whether that's just being a listening ear, whether that is just showing up when someone needs you, regardless of what you give back. We got to start doing things from the heart and expect nothing in return. And when we get there, we can love unconditionally. God shows up for us every single day. How much time are we really spending with him? How much times are we really opening our word to read to get to know him? How much time are we giving back to him as much time as he put in with us? How many things did you ask for that you received? I received a lot. And I can go on for days on how God blessed me. That's why can't nobody tell me anything. Because I know for my own personal circumstances where God brought me out of, where I was and where I'm in now. What the doctors told me I would never do that I'm doing today. They looked me in my face and told me I will never. But look at where I'm at today. So be encouraged. Go in peace. And I thank God for you. And you are amazing. You're doing amazing. You are an amazing, inspiring person. And someone is watching you. Someone is watching you. Someone is looking up to you, even when you don't even know it. I love you. I appreciate you. You're doing amazing. Be encouraged. And when you go off this live, I pray that this touched somebody Choose the side of the tracks that you're willing to walk on wisely. Choose who you surround yourself with wisely. Not everybody was meant to go where you're going. Not everybody's meant to be in your life. Not everybody is meant to be in your life. And we need to start paying attention who we surround ourselves with, because certain people are there just to bring a distraction and destruction. And if we are not careful, we are stopping our own blessings. So go in peace. I love you all and I appreciate you. And again, I thank God for each and every one of you.